But actually, hold on. Before I even get into the Jalen Green stuff, I just want to talk about another Green real quick, and that's going to be Draymond Green. So I think that Draymond Green, I think that a big problem that the Golden State Warriors have is that they do not hold Draymond accountable for his actions, and they're not honest with how Draymond's actions are able to affect the rest of the team. So just last year, everybody knows you have the incident with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green, where they're tripping back and forth in practice. Draymond Green, Jordan Poole says something that Draymond Green doesn't like. They go face to face. Draymond Green knocks this nigga into Washington D.C. All right, so that happens. They're coming off a championship, and there's no repercussions really from this situation. And from that point, the entire season is toast. What I'm saying. You got Jordan Poole. He's ready to get out of there. Apparently, the relationship's already deteriorating between Draymond and some of the guys. Draymond and Jordan Poole now have a strained relationship. There's supposed to be two guys that are supposed to be the quote unquote, they're going to be the future of your franchise, at least for the short term. But they can't stand each other. You're supposed to be a team that's supposed to be trying to rebound and win a championship. And now team chemistry is thrown off. So that entire season last year is a wash. After that incident, which you kind of watched the team, you saw the ebbs and flows they went through. They were one of the worst road teams, I believe, in all in all the NBA last year. And you kind of just see that year is a wash. So going to the offseason, they trade Jordan Poole away. They bring in Chris Paul. And now the idea is we're trying to just flip the page, right? We're trying to just create a new slate. Draymond, all that stuff that happened last year, we got rid of the quote unquote problem that is Jordan Poole, and now we can move forward from it. And I guess that there's no one who actually I feel like there's nobody who actually ever sat Draymond down and really explained to him just what the ramifications of punching your teammate square in the nose can do to the season. At a time where vibes are supposed to be at an all-time high, you guys are kind of in this what the fuck in between state, and you guys are asking yourself, should we potentially suspend one of the most important pieces from our dynasty on ring night, no less. And I feel like that kind of has carried around and stuck with this team for going into this season. Because even now, last year you saw that Draymond was kind of becoming this loose cannon. He was kind of becoming this guy where you couldn't really rein in. I think actually during the championship years when you actually really saw it. You saw that his skill wasn't quite there. His skill had not fallen off to the level where it had now. But in 2022, you had seen that there were little cracks in his skill that were starting to come to the forefront. And that's when you saw a lot more of the extra nonsense where you see him pulling, I believe it was Brandon Clark out of the air against the pulling Brandon Clark out of the air against the Grizzlies. And then you gotta have him stomping on a Domantas Sabonis' chest last season. It's just you see these build up air, these little flare ups of CTE where my man is not really he's not really functioning on all cylinders. And then you come into this year and it kind of comes to a head where, he does the spinning back flip, the spinning back fist on Yusuf Nurkic. And now you have other players from other teams saying hey man, this guy's a fucking bug out, bro. This dude is actually out here doing the most. He needs to seek help and all this good stuff. Then at that point, the league has no choice but to honestly step in and make a move. But I guess my big problem is that that's the league stepping in and making that decision for the Warriors, instead of the Warriors saying hey Draymond, we gotta really sit down and talk this shit out, because you can't keep getting ejected for trying to knock niggas the fuck out. You trying to run people over, you trying to punch people on the side of the head. It makes no sense. It takes things so far away from the actual sport of basketball that it fucks up everything around us. And you know what I'm saying? I feel that the Warriors are a team where, and Steve Kerr in particular is a coach where he kind of has to have things kind of rolling. They have to be in perfect position for him to honestly be able to take that team to where they go. Because we've seen years where, they've had, injuries in one place or another, and the team just isn't quite, the team that you're used to seeing. Of course, if you use a vital piece, you're gonna have ups and downs when it comes to replacing them. But we've seen that if the Warriors are not with this same particular lineup for a certain amount of time, they will go through big ebbs and flows, and we will not see that consistent great brand of basketball that we're used to seeing from them. And I guess my main point for all this is just to say, Draymond Green has really destroyed the last two Warriors seasons with his antics, and there's a possibility that the Warriors are never able to get back to where they want to be as long as they have Draymond Green on that roster. I think that when you have other players that are seeing just what like his vitriol and just like how volatile he is, like I think that one, it makes players not want to necessarily play with the guy. I think two, it makes players not necessarily want to it makes them look at the front office and kind of be like, why is there nobody that's going to rein this guy in? There's nobody who's actually like running the show here. It kind of just feels like we're letting Draymond Green kind of just do whatever the fuck he wants because he's been here for a while, and it just makes other teams like the organization and just be like, who's same question, who's really running the show here? Who really is the guy who's going to put an end to all the nonsense? And it had to be Adam Silver. And, I think the fact that it was Adam Silver and that it wasn't the Golden State Warriors themselves, that only is going to hurt them going forward, So, Draymond, like I said, man, I think you're responsible for nuking the last two seasons for them. I think that, like, really, like, bro, you need to, like, really, like, lock in and just understand that, like, it's not about you, bro. It was never about you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were a great piece, but you were only a great piece because you were surrounded by Stephen Curry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was never about you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he's gotten to this point where he feels like it is about him. He feels like he has, like, this aura. He has, like, this responsibility that he has to carry. And, like, he's, like, the tough guy for the team. And it's just like, we don't need you we don't need you there anymore, bro. We do not need you anymore there, bro. So, listen, trouble in Golden State. Hopefully they figure that shit out.